So I'm going to talk to the landowners down here. By taking the land, we're talking about a forced sale.
And this land's it is not for sale at any price.
There's no words to describe it. It's soul shattering. It's not just your heart that breaks, it's your soul, because you're connected to everything.
If they should force me from here, I'll lock the door. They'll have to knock the door down, and I'll pick me up out of the floor and literally carry me out hand and foot, and me screaming bloody murder.
The Washington Post is in turmoil tonight after the publisher announced that the newspaper will not endorse a candidate for president. That's the first time they have not done so in 36 years of presidential elections. The Post itself reporting that the decision came from the paper's owner, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos.
Billionaires are buying up farmland all across America, including Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Ted Turner. These billionaires now own millions of acres of farmland like you see behind me here. This is a farm that's producing corn as well as housing dairy cows. More and more of these farms are now being controlled by billionaires who are buying this land as an investment, everyone. Other countries like China and the billionaires, they still own a small percentage of the farmland. In the U.S., there's 890 million acres of farmland. Bill Gates owns like 0.002% of that. China owns even less than that. It's because the value of farmland is heavily related to the value of crops and commodities. And so one of the reasons why the farmland went up so much in value during the pandemic is because the commodity prices went up so much in value during the pandemic. So the value of corn, the value of wheat, the value of soybeans skyrocketed during the pandemic. I don't know if you guys remember that. 2021, 2022, especially after Russia invaded Ukraine, everything just got way more expensive in terms of food and commodity prices. And those more expensive commodity prices meant that the farmers producing on this land could pay more in rent to the owners of the land, which drove the value of the farmland up. However, now we have the reverse situation occurring, everyone. The value of these crops that the farmers are producing is plummeting. Wheat is down like 50-60% from its pandemic highs. Soybean also plummeting, 30 to 40% decline. Corn plummeting as well. These crops are now almost back to their pre-pandemic pricing, meaning that the farmers farming the land are not making nearly as much money as they were 2 years ago, which means they're not going to be able to pay as high a rent to the owners of the land, like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. And so I'm suspecting potentially that we could be in a bubble here with the farmland valuations, and that the declining crop and commodity prices could lead to a decline in the value of the land underneath.
Why are they taking 200,000 acres for a 68,000 acre reservoir? Do they really need the water from this reservoir for the Dallas area people, or can they get it somewhere else? And how much farm ground is this going to take out? What is this going to cost the economy? So this is really the tale of a clash between city and rural. So is it really about water, or is this about money?
Indeed.
By taking the land, we're talking about a forced sale. So they're trying to force you guys to sell it.
Force us to sell to them, in which, here, these lands, a lot of it goes back, into the 1800s in these families, and this land's it is not for sale at any price. Mm-hmm. There's not a price on it. It's not for sale. But they will force us, if this goes through, they will force us out. They'll either take it, eminent domain, and just take it, or we'll have to take what they offer, basically.
And the footprint of the reservoir is 68,000 acres, but they're taking 200,000 acres. Yep. Is that right?
Yes, it's state law. There'll have to be mitigation.
What is mitigation anyway? What do they? So
mitigation is basically it's for the wildlife. If you take an acre of, say, hardwood timber, you got to replace it with an acre of land, like timber, or if you replace it like with pasture land, and my number might be a little bit wrong here, but you could go up to 7 acres for that of pasture land to replace that 1 acre of hardwood timber land for mitigation. So conservation for the wildlife.
But what if the regulations were to change? What if there was somebody that could, just change the laws of the land?
Donald Trump has already offered him a key appointment if he's reelected.
At the suggestion of Elon Musk, I will create a Government Efficiency Commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force.
Now, you know that they always run a test pilot first, right? The beta test. Well, in 2017, a company out of Delaware, Delaware, went to Honduras and just ran amok.
It is absolutely outrageous that in Honduras, after the coup in 2009, there was this radical project to create these sedes, as you mentioned, private cities that U.S. corporations could come in and control the territory. The territory was removed from municipal jurisdictions, and then they had the power as a corporation to set their own regulatory standards, tax policy, monetary policy, security forces, have their own separate court system, and basically run their own government. And in the case of Roatan, this company, Prospera, came in and established this private zone where the governance structure does not allow for representative democracy from the people of the community. And at first, the people in the community didn't even know that this was happening. It's happening in such an opaque format. And once people understood what this meant in terms of taking away Honduran sovereignty and taking away land from communities, there was massive uprising. Indigenous people, community organizations, even the largest business association in Honduras opposed this corrupt law. And so through the democratic process, fortunately, they managed to overturn this corrupt law. The Xiomara Castro administration ran on a platform of repealing this law, and they did so. They made good on their promise. The National Assembly overturned or repealed the law, and that really should be the end of the story. It's a victory for democracy in Honduras after a very dark period of right-wing rule. And then that's not the end of the story because of the trade agreement that no one knew about, and these secretive trade rules that empower corporations to be able to challenge democratic policies outside of the court system. This isn't in a U.S. court. It's not in a Honduran court. It's in a private tribunal of private sector lawyers, 3 arbitrators who will decide whether to basically ransack the treasury of the tiny country of Honduras to the tune of $11 billion with a B, which again, as you mentioned, would bankrupt the country. So the company is using this as an additional tool to try to bully the government to not implement the democratic will of the people.
Okay, so here's how it works. I'm gonna break it down for you. Don't worry, I got you. Bill Gates and Elon Musk buy Central Park. And then they lobby to the city to say, hey, man, we want you to make an amendment for us, okay? Because we're not going to follow any federal laws, no tax laws, no OSHA laws, none of that stuff right there. But we will follow your criminal laws. That's about the only thing we're going to follow. So, yeah, this is going to be like the Cayman Islands, jump off all Bitcoin straight up. And we're going to bring in every major Silicon Valley startup company you could possibly imagine. And all this property right here, we ain't going to build out. We building $400,000 spaces for everybody. But here's the sweetener. See, we gonna have eminent domain. So if we want to take more, as long as y'all agree, the city of New York and the government agree to it, we can just, agree to take it.
You don't have anyone that you can directly communicate your concerns to.
A heated town hall meeting this evening between people who live in Solano County and the developer of California Forever, a proposed new community in that area.
KTVU's Joey Horta was at tonight's town hall. He's here in studio with us tonight. Little venting session, you could say, for some of those in attendance.
Yeah, I got a little tense in there, guys, tonight, and we'll tell you what's going on in there in just a sec. All of it started out with a presentation from the CEO of this project that would see the formation of California's newest city. But many of the people in the crowd there cut off the founder, causing a passionate exchange. They don't want this happening in their backyard.
We have an idea for how to make Solano County better.
California Forever CEO Jan Schramik breaking down the project that would create the state's newest city. He's invested $900 million, buying up 60,000 acres, 4 miles from Travis Air Force Base, on mostly agricultural grazeland in southeast Solano County, causing an uproar.
What about the Native American graves that you are going to be excavating and building on without even consulting us, the natives of this land?
You did a bad investment, and we're not going to support as a shill to support your project. So shame on you.
But the overwhelming majority of this crowd isn't buying it.
We can't afford this housing, and we will not go live on our own people's bones.
Investors in California Forever have been largely mum on the project and strategy.
A change of plans regarding the controversial plan to build a new city in rural Solano County. The issue will not go to voters this November. In a surprising development, the CEO of California Forever decided to pull the initiative from the ballot, at least for now. Here's NBC's Jody Hernandez.
Everything around us, as you
Despite claims they've got the support to win, the CEO of California Forever says he's pulling his initiative from the November ballot.
I think what the polling showed is that this was going to be a close election, and we feel pretty confident that we would win in it. But we've just found a better way to work with everyone.
CEO Jan Schramik says he's decided to work with the county.
Okay, so that is a bunch of malarkey. He is putting people in place in the local state house and trying to finagle some stuff until 2026 where he's going to try again. Yeah, he waiting on Elon and see if he can skirt all this, But Elon is down in Texas. That's one of the reasons he moved, besides all the lawsuits down in California. And they wouldn't let him get it off down there, so he moved all his headquarters. He's moving Neuralink, X, Tesla, SpaceX, everything down to Texas. Where are all the people that left Cuba? Did they go back? Would Fidel Castro even take them back? Where are all the sons and daughters and grandmothers of the Taliban that got caught in the raids when we were over there? Where are all the ISIS families at? Do y'all know what happened to them? Do you know the camps that they're at? That we pay for? Still to this day, 20 years later? All these countries that Donald Trump is talking about, they're not taking all them people back. They are the ones that left. They would not vote for them. This is why Donald Trump is acting like he wants them to leave. But I'll tell you exactly what they're going to do with them. And it has a lot to do with the work program.